Top 5 Best Nintendo Consoles. Number 5. Nintendo 64 Console. The Nintendo 64 console is pure late 90s chaos in the best possible way. Black console, red and blue controllers, memory card, HDMI adapter, everything needed to jump straight into Mario Kart arguments and Ocarina of Time nostalgia without hunting cables across the internet like it's 2002. What stands out is how clean this setup feels. The console often arrives looking almost untouched, with controllers still tight and responsive instead of feeling like they survived 3 generations of sibling rage. Setup is refreshingly simple too. HDMI support makes the N64 play nicely with modern TVs, including Roku sets, which removes the old headache of converter confusion. Performance holds up surprisingly well for hardware old enough to rent a car. Games run smoothly, saves work properly, and the included accessories actually matter. Yoshi's Story still feels charming. Retro gaming, the N64 was never designed for 4K televisions. Picture quality can look soft or grainy on modern displays, though that's more the console's age showing than a flaw in this bundle. For nostalgia per dollar, this thing punches hard. Coming in number 4, Nintendo Wii Sports. The Nintendo Wii Sports bundle still feels like magic. Not powerful console magic. Living room chaos magic. The kind where bowling somehow turns grandparents into trash talkers and tennis matches become accidental cardio. This package comes ready for action with Wii Sports Resort, controllers, and the cables needed to get swinging fast. Most renewed units arrive surprisingly clean too. Neatly packed, responsive, and looking far newer than hardware this old has any right to look. Setup is most painless, though syncing the Wii remote can briefly feel like solving an ancient Nintendo riddle. Once synced, everything clicks into place quickly. On modern smart TVs, an HDMI adapter is practically mandatory unless the TV still accepts the classic red, white, and yellow cables. The real charm is how timeless the gameplay feels. Wii Sports still delivers instant fun within minutes, no tutorials needed, eating for absolutely no meaningful prize except bragging rights. There's also something oddly wholesome about the Wii. Few consoles can make exercise feel accidental. 1 minute it's bowling, next thing, sweat. Nintendo somehow turned fitness into a side effect. Coming in number 3, Retrobit Retro Duo 2-in-1. The Retrobit Retro Duo 2-in-1 feels like a love letter to cartridge gaming. 2 slots, NES and SNES support, wired controllers, plug-and-play simplicity. For retro fans staring at rising prices of original hardware, this thing enters the room like a budget hero wearing fingerless gloves. Compatibility is where it earns respect. Most classic games run surprisingly well. Mario, Zelda, Mega Man, Star Fox, Castlevania 3, even titles many clone systems struggle with. It also plays nicely with several SNES accessories and adapters, which gives old cartridges a second life instead of leaving them buried in storage bins beside tangled AV cables and forgotten childhood dreams. But this console is not flawless nostalgia. Some games refuse to cooperate, especially a handful of SNES and NES titles with crashes, glitches, or startup failures. Accessory support for original NES hardware is also limited unless adapters are involved. Cartridge slots can feel painfully tight too, enough to make cautious collectors nervous every time a game gets inserted. Still, for the price, the Retro Duo delivers a ridiculous amount of old-school fun. It's imperfect, stubborn, occasionally weird, basically exactly like the retro era itself. Coming in number 2, Nintendo Switch with neon blue and red. The Nintendo Switch with neon blue and red somehow turned gaming into something that fits everywhere. Couch, bed, airplane, plane, hotel room, 5 minutes before sleep that accidentally becomes 3 hours of Zelda. The neon blue and red Joy-Cons give the console that unmistakable Nintendo energy, playful without trying too hard. Dock it, and games jump onto the TV almost instantly. Pull it back out, and handheld mode feels smooth and natural, like the system was built around convenience first and marketing second. Performance holds up beautifully for a hybrid console. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe remains friendship-ending perfection. Breath of the Wild still feels magical, and Nintendo's library keeps growing, while other platforms sometimes feel stuck recycling remasters from another century. The detachable Joy-Cons are clever, especially for quick multiplayer sessions, though larger hands may start negotiating peace treaties with cramped fingers after long play sessions. Storage is also laughably small by modern standards, so a micro SD card quickly becomes less optional accessory and more basic survival equipment. Still, the Switch succeeds because it remembers something many consoles forget. Games are supposed to feel fun first, and this thing radiates fun like a tiny neon-powered arcade machine. Coming in number 1, Nintendo Switch 2 System. The Nintendo Switch 2 system feels less like a reinvention and more like Nintendo finally giving the original Switch a strong cup of coffee and better glasses. The bigger 7.9-inch screen looks sharp, bright, and genuinely modern, while performance upgrades quietly fix many old frustrations. Faster load times, smoother frame rates, better graphics, older Switch games suddenly feel refreshed instead of merely preserved. Backward compatibility is the real hero here. Existing libraries move over easily, which saves longtime Nintendo fans from the emotional damage of rebuying Mario Kart for the 5th time. The magnetic Joy-Con 2 controllers are surprisingly satisfying too. Snapping them on feels futuristic in a tiny transformer kind of way. The new mouse control feature is weird, clever, and very Nintendo. Nobody fully knows why it exists yet, but somehow that makes it more charming. Despite the larger bowl for handheld play, battery life takes a small hit compared to the OLED Switch, but the added USB-C port helps make charging less annoying during long sessions. There are still a few headaches: pricey accessories, limited internal storage once modern game sizes arrive, and physical game key cartridges that feel suspiciously close to buying air inside plastic. Still, the Switch 2 nails the important part. It makes gaming feel easy again. Fast, flexible, playful. Nintendo's favorite trick.